Hi, my name is Anthony, and I did George Rogers Clark. He's famous for his captures in the Revolutionary War. He captured Kaskaskia and Vincennes, and I got to travel into the 1770s and meet him. So he seemed nice for how long I was there, and I think that he's very brave for fighting in the Revolutionary War. He told me a little bit about the war, so this is what I did for it. So yeah, here we go. This is a photo of him. I made an acrostic poem of his name. He greatly weakened Britain from his captures. Early in his life, his family moved because of the French and Indian War. He was out at war for 8 years, 4 months, 2 weeks, and 1 day. He was ranked as the highest military officer. He was a great fighter in the war, in my opinion. Ending his life, he had a stroke. Rogers is part of his name. He was out in 4 different locations for the war. He got invited to the Revolutionary War, and early in his life, he lived near Thomas Jefferson. The Revolutionary War ended when he was around 30 years old, and he started fighting on April 19th, 1775, and he captured Kaskaskia and Vincennes. He lost a leg later in his life, and they built a memorial for him, and again, in my opinion, I think that he kicked British butt. So that's my acrostic poem, and I have a letter of him writing to his mom and dad, or mother and father. So I have, the war was fine, and I'm okay, if you were wondering. I want to know how you're doing. Is everything okay at home? If you haven't heard, I captured Kaskaskia and Vincennes, which greatly weakened Britain in the war. We also won the war, so we declared independence from Britain. It seemed like I was gone forever. Did it feel the same for you? I have tons of questions to ask you, but then this letter would go on forever. I want to ask you a few more questions before I end this letter. How are our family members, and I hope nobody's sick. Can you please get back to me soon? Love, George Rogers Clark. Next is my medal. I did a bravery award because, again, I think that he is very brave for fighting in the Revolutionary War because Britain had a lot better guns and better trained men than America had. And so now I have my travel brochure, Travel to Virginia in 1785 with George Rogers Clark. I did Virginia because that's the place that he was born. George Rogers Clark gets ready to fight in the Revolutionary War. And George Rogers Clark fights in the Revolutionary War, and he's ranked as the highest military officer. And then I have when George Rogers Clark captured Kaskaskia and Vincennes. And then at the end of his life, he lost a leg and later died of a stroke. So now in the backpack, I have pistol, which he used as a weapon in the Revolutionary War. I also have a musket, which he used to fight in the Revolutionary War. I have lead, which what they would do is they'd melt it over the fire. He'd put it into like a ball-shaped thing, and it would harden the lead, and it would make the bullets for the musket and the guns. Now I have Common Sense, which is a book that convinced a lot of people to fight in the to become a patriot. I have food because obviously he had to eat during the Revolutionary War. I have a sword, which again, like the other weapons he used during the Revolutionary War to fight. So I'm pretty sure that's it. Next I have the summary of his life. Okay, so George Andrews Clark was born on November 19th, 1752. He had an average grade in school. After he graduated, he went to fight in the Revolutionary War. In the Revolutionary War, he captured Kaskaskia and Vincennes, which greatly weakened Britain in the war. He fought a lot of other wars too, and got a lot of awards later in his life. He lost one of his legs and died of stroke. He died on February 13th of 1818, and he was 66 years old when he died. And that's about George Andrews Clark.